What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and it's another Glock. What can I say? Please comment the hate down below. Push me into the algorithms. Give me some views. Give me some support. I'd really appreciate it, guys. People do not like Glock. Not everyone, but a lot of people don't like Glock. And what I've found is that when it comes down to stuff like Glocks, everything is compared to Glocks. Not everything's compared to Taurus. Not everything's compared to Barca. Not everything's compared to Springfield Armory. But every title is Glock, I can't say it, unaliver, or better than Glock, or way better, way cooler than Glock. Everything is compared to Glock. And you know what that means? That Glock has done something right for forever. And yes, we all know they don't give you much, but they're a great workhorse firearm. And that's what I'm into. I'm into firearms that will last me for forever. They're never going to have to go back. I have plenty of aftermarket parts. They're simple, easy to use, reliable, and that makes me happy. That makes me good to go. You don't need much on a carry gun. Now, do I like to make my stuff look nice and add a bunch of stuff to it? Of course, but for my carry guns, a stock Glock is going to outperform most handguns in terms of durability and reliability over time. I don't care what anyone says. I promise you, put a Glock 26 Gen 3 up against a P365. Tell me, which one will last longer? You know it. Even the people who hate Glock know the answer to that. Put a Glock 19 up against the SIG P320. Over time, reliability and durability, we know who takes the cake. They are not the best in terms of giving you everything you need. They rarely come optics ready. There's not rails on my favorite Gen 5s. I mean, there's so many things that Glock does wrong that I talk about. But another used Glock, $350 for a Gen 5. What did I get? Was it worth it? Let's get into it. And I actually had a really good conversation with, someone who's big in the industry. They know a lot. They have ties all over the place. They're not a firearm company, but they're just basically tied in with the industry. And we had a long talk about budget firearms, and we just kept it real with each other. And I'm in full support of budget firearms. I always talk about them, all sorts of stuff. But what we talked about is you can buy used Glock at dang near 90% of the local firearm stores in the world. 90. I guarantee it. I walked into my local gun store today. They had probably about 15 to 20 used Glocks. And they're all, law enforcement trade-ins. They're rarely ever like people trade them in. But occasionally you'll get that. But most of them are law enforcement trade-ins. So today, or sorry, not today, a couple days ago, picked up a Glock 27 Gen 5. No, it's not MOS. Nope, the Gen 5 subcompacts still don't have rails. But am I happy? You're dang right I am. I needed myself a good beater, a good truck gun, something I don't care about, something I can legit do whatever I want with. And I know it's going to run, it's going to be reliable, and it's going to have power. I might even make it a travel firearm because of capacity, power, stuff like that. In most states, this is a handgun that, fits capacity limits and stuff like that. Anyways, Glock 27 Gen 5. I'm going to talk about why I got it, stuff like that. Anyways, forward serrations, rear serrations. No rail. It's not optics ready. I didn't plan on putting an optic on it anyways. Came with the back straps. Came with 3 mags, which is what it comes with. And I'm talking about a dang near brand new Glock 27. I paid $350 and technically it's used. Even if it had 10,000 rounds out of it, we're going to get another 90,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that serious. Came with 3 mags, and because I'm me, I have leftover stuff all the time. So I had a leftover Henning Group base plate. This is a +2 for 40 and +3 for 9mm. They advertise 1 round less each, but I always get +2 out of it. This small setup right here is 11 + 1 of 40. 12 rounds. You see this? I still can't even get a full grip on it, and that's 12 rounds of 40. And I don't care what people say. 40 Smith & Wesson is a heck of a round, and it's one of my favorites, hands down. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at it again. Oh yeah, and because I'm me, I always have sights laying around. Always do. These right here, XS sights. Now, the front is the green outline, and what I like about XS is their sights are so easy to find. Like, they do such a good job at illuminating that whole front dot. Even though for accuracy, you see that main tritium dot, but they do such a good job illuminating that whole entire lime green to where you can find it so easily. I mean, look at these. We're not even in pitch black right now. That's crazy. It's literally the middle of the daytime. There is sun coming through those windows. And look at that. And once again, I always have, whenever I put in an order for sights, because of shipping and stuff like that, I always order a couple extra pairs of sights. And in this case, I had these laying around, 3-dot XS. Notice the texturing. Man, these are great sights. I absolutely love XS. I don't know why people don't use them more, but it is what it is. The reason why I went with this, the Gen 5 27, is my Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS still doesn't have a rail, still doesn't have texturing, all sorts of stuff. But it can take the Glock Performance trigger. If you guys know about the Glock Performance trigger, they're roughly $80 to about $100. And they are Glock's aftermarket trigger. They are still considered an OEM part. You can still have that in your handgun and warranty is good to go, right? But they only are for the Gen 5 so far. So having that on there changes the handgun completely. Now, buying it for $350 gives me an extra $100 to $200 before I'm in the price of a new handgun. Therefore, you can do the trigger, put new sights on there, whatever the case may be. So when you buy for $350, by the time you're at a new Glock, you have $200, a holster, sights, whatever the case may be. So absolutely awesome. And with the Gen 5s, one thing I do like is the back straps. I prefer Gen 3 finger grooves. I actually do. That's just something that I've liked. They don't fit my fingers perfectly, but I just feel like they snug my fingers in there a little bit more, especially on the subcompacts, which helps with grip. But in this case, there are no finger grooves, but I do like the back straps. I feel like this beaver tail really does make a big difference for the subcompacts. Not only in the way it looks really cool, but the way it feels. It just feels so good naturally in the hand. Now, right after I bought it, my buddy Dan Haig and I went and shot it, ran flawlessly. Accurate as can be, and we were just using stock Glock sights. A lot of people talk down on 40, but we were there shooting Walther PDP Pro. We were there shooting the new Smith & Wesson carry comps. We were shooting Glock 48s, Springfield Armory Echelons, Glock 47s, right? All bigger handguns. This is smaller, and I'm 40. We shot this just as good as everything else. So what I was trying to explain is, it's in 40, you do get a little extra power. Now, I get those other firearms have a little bit more capacity, but you can still get capacity out of this using the 13-round mag from the Glock 23, the 15-round mag from the 22, and so on. So capacity is not an issue. Yes, it's a little bit thicker, but it's just as thick as, Glock 19 or whatever the case may be. Now, my point being, if I can shoot 40 just as accurate as all those 9s, I'm going to choose 40. I don't have a reason not to. 9 plus 1, which is 10 rounds, or clear, 11 plus 1, 12 rounds of 40 in this small setup that doesn't even fill my hand completely. I'm good in any situation. 12 rounds of 40 Smith & Wesson, Underwood Extreme Defenders, Civil Liberty Defense. I mean, there's all sorts of rounds you can carry. Double tap, Buffalo bore. I mean, there's everything out there in 40 Smith & Wesson. 9mm bullet technology is the same technology they use in 40s. Just because technology is advanced doesn't mean it hasn't advanced in every single caliber. And that's exactly the case. So do I carry 40 all the time? Of course not. But do I carry it often? Yes. And honestly, I'm thinking about making this my designated beater firearm. There's sometimes, you go to a dirty area or, train in a bad place in terms of there's concrete underneath you instead of dirt. So if you drop it, I actually dropped my FN 503. It's a story I told on this channel on the concrete, and man, that hurt my heart. But just something like that you can train with and carry and know it's rugged as can be, durable as can be, and just flawless. I absolutely love this thing. I do not regret it at all. $350 for a used Gen 5 that looks brand new. Obviously, there's a little wear, but that's Gen 5 wear. I mean, it's crazy. No holster, nothing. It's literally probably because someone took it, shot a small 40, and they're like, oh my goodness, too much recoil. You know what they didn't know? You can convert this using a conversion barrel. They do have conversion barrels for the Gen 5s nowadays. They're going to be more expensive because they're only with the higher end companies, but they do make them. This right here is a setup he could have turned into a Glock 26, a Glock 33, whatever the case may be. Absolutely love the Gen 5 Glock 27. Shoots like an absolute beast. Handles recoil well, accurate as can be. There's nothing more I can ask for. And then you're going to say, why do you need all these subcompacts, all this stuff? I actually run a YouTube channel, so I make a little bit of money off of this stuff. I put a lot of that money back into the channel for you guys. So stuff like this was purchased with my own hard-earned money to put out content for you guys. And you can bet your bottom dollar I will get my use out of this Glock 27 Gen 5. Now, what do I like better? Gen 3s or Gen 5s? It's honestly a toss-up. I'm a Gen 3 guy, But the Gen 5s are honestly really, really growing on me, as my Gen 5 Glock 26 MOS is one of my best shooting handguns that I own. Every time I pull it out, I'm on point with it. Same thing with this Gen 5 in 40. I think I shoot it better than my Gen 3s. I'll do one last close-up, then we'll end the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.